has been touched on. I mean, a common theme was co-ops, ownership, training up the community to take on different opportunities, take on different responsibilities, and whenever you have the know-how instilled into the community, you get things done. That's kind of a wrap up that I've heard. Violence is a problem all over the place in my ward. Since I ain't from here, I can say the 20th ward I got love for it a whole bunch. But my ward is actually riddled with a lot of violence, and there's two huge differences. On one side is Inglewood and back of the yards.
That's right.
Rash for AK-47 shootings that I've been dealing with this summer that's not on TV. And it is not gang violence, and it's not anything that officials want to get involved in. It's just,
these guns are being left in those alleys by someone.
yeah, well, way like that. And then on the other end, we got portions of the university. So have to be able to not be afraid to go talk to our youth or whoever we believe are perpetrating these problems in our community that's pushing the violence, and then be able to go over there and have a conversation with the people in a totally different socioeconomic status to be able to say, okay, you want services, you want to have opportunity to invest in this. And then I touched on it really quickly about the engaging your local official. I didn't really realize, I volunteered quite a bit, but this job that they're running for is hard. It is not easy. Hard. And you get beat up emotionally, mentally, and physically. So it takes a huge toll. So I commend you all for taking this race, especially in such a short time, because I know what it takes, because I was just there not too long ago. So again, I want to give a handout for the community for staying engaged, and the candidates for stand up here and taking these questions. So give you all a hand. We got Mr. Mark Lovelace.
Okay. First of all, let's give Kevin another hand. And also another hand for all of our candidates. We are, as I said, this is a one step in the process of us solidifying or deciding on what Southside DFA will do as far as endorsing, supporting, or adopting a campaign in this race. Our next meeting will be December 6th, 2016 at 6 p.m. at Yaz's restaurant. Yeah, right over there. If you would like to, if you didn't sign in or you want to make sure that you have your email address legible, we'll send you a notice. If you have a question?
I do. Is it possible to obtain a copy of this form?
We'll have to ask the gentleman who's doing the recording. Other than that, we didn't make any arrangements ourselves directly. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I do. What time did you say the meeting was on the 6th?
It sets, we meet at 6 o'clock for dinner, and then the meeting really starts around 6:37.
So the form?
No, it will be that will be, our process is we have candidates present, and then we decide at our next meeting,
DFA meeting.
at our next Southside DFA meeting, whether we're going to endorse, who we're going to do Democracy Forum. Okay, now you got it.
So does that mean it'll only be selected from people who participated today?
We can only hear, well, there's one candidate that has asked to be heard, but at this point, basically we can only choose in our chapter from people we hear. So if we haven't heard from you, it's unlikely that, because you got, see, here's the thing. These people who are members of DFA, they can't, we're not just going to say we support the candidate, that's it. We don't do that. You have to put in work to these campaigns. So, I mean, and you can ask some of the folks we've endorsed, like Kevin, like Kim Fox, Daryl Jones, those types. You ask those candidates, when we say we're in, we're all the way in. So we'll get to whoever we select, we're going to see a lot of you. So the person has to be here before the people to decide. And the likelihood of people choosing someone they haven't seen is quite rare. Anything is possible, but quite rare, and I don't know how likely it would be.
I'm kind of confused. You indicated earlier that at the next meeting you will have,
One candidate has asked to be heard,
well, earlier you indicated that it would be open
and
to
all
the
these candidates, they can
because-
come as well.
Okay, but
you
they
know.
will not be heard?
No, they could be,
Only one just asked to be.
only one asked to be
person asked to
considered.
come.
Oh,
So
okay,
it is
okay.
open for
It's
them
open
to ask to
for
come
all,
before the
okay.
group.
And they will be able to ask questions too. And you can come too.
Okay.
And if you come to 2 events, you will become a
Is that really fair for these candidates to go to somebody get a private session?
I'm sorry,
Is
what?
that really fair that somebody get a private session where they came up here and asked?
Well, let me again restate the circumstances. And people have to take this back, and in the decision-making process, it will be weighed appropriately. The sitting alderman has established a policy where she will not appear with any other candidates on a forum until after they have filed for office.
Well,
With that said,
I heard about this last night.
okay,
And
okay,
actually,
right, okay, right, and she heard about
I
it.
think the
2
city
weeks ago.
alderman should be eliminated
Okay,
from the city
okay,
process.
Okay,
but
no,
Courtesy.
I just, let me just clarify.
Guys, don't
Let
jump
me
on Mark.
clarify. Right, all I'm telling you is what she said. I talked to her last night. We had a very long conversation, and I apologize for putting out the message that she was coming, because that was my fault. But I explained to her, because of our process as an organization, and we do solicit our national organization and our other affiliate chapters to support, we could not delay the process. We had to move on our process. If we did not move on our process, we would not be getting it, and we would not have actual input till January. We would be able to put nothing into the campaign until January, which is virtually not as effective as we'd like to be. Let me just put it to you that way. So she then restated that she had already made this statement to other people, and she has kept this line strong. So, and I told her, well, these are the options. It's the only thing I could do. And so that's what we are. Yes.
And I'm just asking for clarity. That's her position?
Yes.
Okay, because the way you said it, it kind of made it seem like the city.
No.
Okay.
No.
So
That's her position.
that's her position.
Her personal, private decision. Her decision. Her people. She said her team made.
Okay.
And you all are required to honor that.
Listen, I'm not honoring anything. I'm moving our process. Our process is we hear from the candidates now. Our process is then on the 6th. Our membership will meet, and if you all attend 2 events, you can come and you can vote in that regard. We are not derailed. We're not changing our process because we've got things we want to do. We want to be involved in this race. Yes. On the 6th, if you come, you can vote. If you give me your email address, and I'll let you know when the meeting is. But before we close, I want to just point out one thing about the 4th ward, how important the 4th ward is for us. In all the wards that are surrounding us, in the 43rd, and the 3rd ward, the 5th ward, the 20th ward, with all due respect, the 6th ward, the highest voter turnout on the south side was the 4th ward. We had close to 76% of the people that turned out and voted in this last election. We are a very active and engaged ward. That's why it is so important that we are involved in every process that includes candidate selection for this ward. So I hope that all of you have appreciated the opportunity to get to know the candidates that have presented themselves. We appreciate them coming. I hope that if you come to our meeting on the 6th, you will be able to decide who you want to not just vote for endorsement, because again, we're just not voting for endorsement. We're looking at what campaign, what candidate can you support? And what that means by support, who are you going to go out on the streets for? Who are you going to raise money for? Who are you going to push and be actively the boots on the ground? That's what Rosalina talked about. We're about putting the boots on the ground to make elections happen.
Mark, just one point.
Sure.
Because I am troubled by this. I could see if the appointee was elected by the people and therefore was put in the office by the people. But this person wasn't elected, they were selected, they're an appointee. So for them to have a policy where they're not with the rest of us, I mean, if you give me an empty stadium and a football and nobody on the field, I'll score a touchdown every time. But put me with some other people who have some other interests as well, and then you're going to really see what kind of player I am. And I think it is a disservice to the people that someone who was not elected by the people is creating a policy not to be with the people. And in my opinion, it's the same old BS as usual, where we separate and do what we want to do, and you all just take it. So I would hope that DFA, and I work with DFA and Ray Pimpek and Christina Segalis and all them on a national level and everything else, you all, Howard Dean, Dean's brother, that's not what DFA is about. And I would hope you all would have some kind of meeting and to reassess this, because it is not fair for a non-elected. Now, if the people had elected her, that's different. That's the voice of the people. But the people did not elect her. So she should not have, you all, in my opinion, should not give her permission nor the right to separate herself from the rest of us, because that is a segregated action. And we are an integrated people, and we ain't gonna never overcome if we kind of allow this kind of mess to happen. We all